Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Bernie here bringing you yet another video on the chart. Today what we got to discuss is of course some Kawhi Leonard news and also some Hassan Whiteside news. And before we get into today's video, please remember to go and check out our Phoenix Suns Fixer Upper video. In this series that we're starting, we're going in a weekly series where we talk about each lottery team to potential playoff team. So for example, we talked about the Phoenix Suns, and we'll be talking about a different team next week, a la maybe Denver Nuggets or LA Clippers. But in this series, we talk about what they need to do to fix themselves up to get into the playoffs. Kind of like how the show Fixer Upper works. If you don't know, they take old houses that are kind of broken down and they fix them up to be something brand new. And that's what we hope to do with this series. So please remember to go hit that series, hit that like button, and also subscribe if you want more of that series. But today what we got to talk about, guys, is of course some Kawhi Leonard things. And this is coming from Frank Isola, who works in the Daily News, in the New York Times Daily News, I should say. And he basically said that Kawhi Leonard may want to tweak some things. So in this article, he talks about if Kawhi Leonard and the San Antonio Spurs are able to mend their partnership, they could change the culture of the franchise. Obviously, the things that he wants to change is the way Greg Popovich conducts the practices in other areas. So, you know, the way that he talks to the media, the way that he practices, maybe it's a little bit too hard, he wants a little bit more light work. Obviously, there's a lot of tensions between the two. The telenovela that we keep promoting here on the channel. The Spurs are definitely one of those teams where we don't know if they're going to take Kawhi Leonard's side or they're going to take Greg Popovich's side. It's definitely a huge ongoing negotiation. Obviously, he's trying to go for the Supermax deal. And in 2019, he's going to be a free agent. So they only have 1 year left to really figure out what they want to do with him. Obviously, trading him would probably be the easiest solution if you don't want to change your ways because it's worked for you before when you've won your championships against the Miami Heat, against other different teams. And I do think that this is going to be an interesting year for the Spurs. Does Greg Popovich change his ways, kind of like how Bill Belichick was supposed to be changing his ways as well? But time will only tell. It's going to be interesting to see how Greg Popovich can change because he's obviously done it a certain way for the last, 17, 18 years. So can you really teach an old dog new tricks? I don't know if you can really. I think the best thing you probably should do is trade him because obviously you don't want a player to really disrupt the way that you've been doing it. Obviously you've had a very quiet guy in Tim Duncan who doesn't really say anything or doesn't mind anything. It's just a yes sir, no sir mentality. Obviously you have Tony Parker who's that same way, and also Manu Ginobili, even though, you know, Tony Parker is a little bit more not like that. But when you have a guy like Kawhi Leonard, obviously you got to coach him a different way. There's other ways to coach him, but I don't know if the Spurs have the patience and the mindset to really do that. So I think the best thing for them to do is probably trade him, whether, you know, he goes to Boston, which is a rumor, or if he goes to the Lakers, whatever team he goes to. I think he'll be a great fit wherever he goes because when he's healthy, he is the best two-way player in the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this situation? Do you think that Kawhi Leonard should leave, or do you think that they should mend the fence and try to get something new? Like I said, this article was by Frank Isola from the New York Daily News, so I will make sure to link that article down below. The next thing we're going to talk about is, of course, the Miami Heat and Hassan Whiteside. Obviously, they bowed out of the playoff series to the Philadelphia 76ers, 4-1. And this article says, and this is according to Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald, he expects the Heat to pursue a trade of Hassan Whiteside. Obviously, if we look at the playoff stats of Hassan Whiteside in this series, you know, he only played, the most he played was 26 minutes in a loss, 106-102. And he really didn't do anything special. He only scored 25 points this whole series, which is a huge negative. Only 30 rebounds the whole series, another negative. He obviously didn't make his mark, and obviously he was there really just to keep Joel Embiid in check, even though he didn't do a good job. The problem with trading Hassan Whiteside is what team really wants him. Obviously, I think he's a great player, but the problem is, since he's such a fiery competitor and he can be hot-headed at times, he obviously can rub some people the wrong way, though his attitude could be a little bit off. And I think that's what's really going to kill him in trades. Obviously, the Miami Heat they think he's a 4-star value when really he's probably like a 3.5 to 3 or even 2-star value. He's not worth as much anymore because he doesn't really do anything in terms of being that like special elite player. Obviously, he's not going to be a second option, probably a third or even a fourth option on a team. He is nowhere near showing me the capability of being that second or third option. Like, he's light years away from that. And the problem is he's been such a journeyman in this league, and he's had such a good story of how he's come up from the tops of going from Sacramento to Memphis, really rising. But the problem is, I think this is where it kind of stops. This is where the honeymoon phase of Hassan Whiteside stops. Great player defensively, obviously great rebounder, wants to get his 2K rating up. That's how he's got his infamous, tweeting at Ronnie, 2K, hey, I always play to get my 2K rating up. I think this is where the 2K rating stops. I think it's about an 85, I believe. He, like I said, a great player, great hustler, great fiery competitiveness, which is what I like to see in a player. But at the same time, it's definitely something where I don't really see it being a player that helps a team. Like, for example, he could help the Cavaliers, but he's not helping the Milwaukee Bucks. He's not helping any of these teams as you would say, the second or third option. He's going to be the fourth option. He can help those teams like the Cavaliers, but he's definitely not being the second or third option. He just doesn't have the scoring capability to do that. In the last game, he only scored 2 points. Not really going to cut it in any team. Played poorly in this playoff series, and that's just due to the limited restrictions of his minutes. But at the same time, I think Hassan Whiteside has probably peaked at this point. Obviously, this is what he averaged during the season. 14 points, 11 rebounds a game with 1 assist. Great, good numbers, but I don't see it going anywhere better from here. And he's definitely on the Miami Heat. He is not the he's not the second option on the team. He was the third or fourth. And, you even subbed in Kelly Olynyk, who was a capable three-point shooter, and he was more valued over a guy like Hassan Whiteside averaging 14 points a game. So it's going to be interesting to see what Hassan Whiteside is going to be, what teams could trade for him. And let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think of this? Do you think that Hassan Whiteside will get traded to a different team and help you guys out? Would you want him on your team? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also my basketball opinion. Today we talked about the Hassan Whiteside stuff, and also we talked about the Kawhi Leonard thing. Put in the comments down below, what do you think of each of these stories? But anyway, guys, please remember to hit that subscribe button if you are new to make sure you don't miss any information like I talked about here. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace!